Oh, it still says connecting. Does it show live on YouTube?
I'll check.
Maybe that's why.
This is upcoming.
Okay. It just doesn't show it. All right, so we're here with a very special announcement. Yeah, we're good. There we are. Yeah. All right, so we got a very special announcement, but we gotta wait for some people to get settled. So first, let's start off with anybody driving on Master. Anybody got feedback? We're really gearing up for the best OpenPilot release ever. It's still 0.98 in the release notes, but this will likely be 0.10 if it's the release we think it'll be. Yeah, any comments? What people think so far?
I'm still looking for feedback. Yeah. Who do we have?
Yeah,
We're excited.
Let's wait to get a couple hundred people in here, and then we'll do the big announcement. You guys have been asking for a long time. You guys have voted. Yeah. Anybody have any guesses on how many votes we've collected? How many dongles are driving around?
Mauricio, yes, we want the feedback. Just post on Discord.
Post on Discord, but any like casual feedback here?
We're
Any vibes? Are there things feeling like, at least are they feeling very different? Because this is a completely new training stack. We'll talk about that in a little bit. We got Mr. Yassine here, head of machine learning at Comma. Talk about the new models. Just add remote start unlock. No, we're focused on driving. You know, we want to ship you an OpenPilot that you can engage and just keep letting it going. It is completely superhuman. It might not take you to the right destination. You'll need a little bit of nav for that, but it should do things that are very plausible, and it should drive better than you. Mixed feeling for MLSim V1. Okay, that's a good sign. It's a completely new training stack.
Yeah.
Really, the first benchmark for this stuff after getting it to drive straight was same performance as what we've shipped in release. So the fact that you guys are mostly complaining about like experimental mode, and you know that it's like it feels like a regression, that's a pretty good sign.
We'll talk about that later. We have some. The announcement here is about something else, but yeah, we appreciate the feedback. We're aware of some of the regressions, and we're working to fix them. We have some new models coming soon, but we'll talk about that.
All right, how many people do we have? Are we ready for the announcement?
127.
127?
137 now.
Okay. Can we get to 150 and then we'll do the announcement?
Bring your friends. Bring your family.
All right. In the meantime, we can give a shout out to Nelson Chen, who's kind of the project manager for this project. Documented every little thing that happened.
Yep.
Good job, Nelson.
Very helpful.
Let's go to 1K. Okay, I don't know. That's ambitious. Anyone love when Comma goes live? Yeah. You know, we got to show you guys we're live sometimes. You see it on GitHub, but you don't always see it on YouTube. Voting counts as a separate viewer. No. Okay, we're at 138. We're at 138. Maybe 140 we'll go.
I see 140 here.
Sounds good to me. Yep, 140.
See 140? All right, cool. All right, should we start with the cake or the PR?
Your call.
Let's do the PR.
All right.
All right, guys. You guys have been waiting for Toyota security in OpenPilot. And we've had some people driving around for a couple months now. It took a couple years to get to that point. Big shout out to Willem too, former head of OpenPilot here. He was the one who initially got these things working, and then Jason here is just cleaning up the port and getting it shipped to OpenPilot. So this is our brand new OpenDBC repo, and I'll show people. So it's not quite new. It used to just have the DBC files, which are these very low-level descriptions of what's being passed around in your car, and we've expanded it now. We've moved essentially the whole self-drive car folder into this OpenDBC project, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But yeah, shall we do it? Shall we do a countdown and then merge?
Sure.
All right, let's get a countdown. Let's get a countdown in the comments, guys. All right, someone start. We start at 3. No one wants to do it.
No, there's a delay.
Oh, is it delay?
Yeah.
Oh no, is it 3,
There's our
9,
10, it's a
8, 7, 6,
5,
5,
4,
4,
3,
2,
2, 1. And
Merged.
merge.
Yay!
All right. And let's show them how fast the CI is on this repo. So we've got a new rule around here. I'm very excited about this rule. No CI can take more than 1 minute. We have some catching up to do on the other repos.
You go to master.
Let's go to master. Let's see, is it green already?
Let's see. It should be.
Ooh,
Let's see. Pending, pending.
in process. CI fast.
But yeah, the new 1 minute rule. This is coming to OpenPilot very soon. We're starting with OpenDBC. But it's really important that your REPL time is super, super fast. Deploying on Friday, ambitious, yeah. That's right. We ship on Fridays because we have good CI.
Yeah, this is dramatically faster than.
I'll just click details. I think the GitHub UI doesn't update sometimes.
Yeah, there we are.
Oh, yeah,
okay,
see,
so
it's
it's
already
already
done.
done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll show them the times. Took about 30 seconds.
Yeah, 30 seconds, 32 seconds, 23 seconds. So
Yeah, it's
this
taken.
is on the order of 30 seconds, whereas there's checks in mainline OpenPilot right now that are in the 15, 16 minute range. So this is really helping us keep up velocity in OpenDBC.
Yes.
I think Adib put it really well the other day when he said it was the slow CI was a tax on all changes.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
All right. So it took a few years, so we decided to commemorate this moment with a cake. I think last time we did a cake was for when we recovered some comma.2s that were super hot.
It's a nice cake. Oh,
Yeah.
it looks like a chocolate. Yeah. Toyota security.
All right. So now we can
Let's move this.
Yeah.
Spicy.
we just message on Slack so people can come eat their cake. But yeah, let's talk a little bit about the OpenDBC project now.
As who likes some cake with some
I'll pull up the README.
Brian Johnson on it. Well.
OpenDBC.
So, okay, we can do some. Actually, let's do some Q&A, I guess, about TSK. You got it open. Oh, yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. So, somebody asked, does it work for all the cars? So, it doesn't work for all of them yet. Jason, do you want to elaborate on that?
Yeah, so this is the first step. There's some infrastructure support for supporting secure onboard communication. Right now, Willem did a lot of work to discover ways to retrieve the key, and right now that's going to be kind of a community effort to actually obtain the security key that's particular to your car. But once you have that, certain model years of Toyota are now available. I think it'll take time to have this be available for all Toyotas with security key. It's a little bit model specific, but right now we're going for 2021 to 23 RAV4 Prime, and right after this stream we'll have, I believe, 21 to 23 Sienna as well.
All right, so we had a voting system for Toyota security key. I'll give you guys a little update on that. So everybody was always concerned, we really need to get Toyota, otherwise, car support will just fall off. We set up the voting system as a way to register interest. We only got 154 votes out of 500, but we did it nonetheless. And we've got about 56 people driving around with these cars. So that's pretty good for a car we don't support. I think the F-150 is about similar, and it has a really responsive F-150 is super responsive.
Lateral launch.
But yeah, those are some
Lateral or launch?
launch signal.
Oh.
I think lateral is very similar to our Bronco. I haven't checked it out, but the API should be very similar.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's an F-150, and it should be a very, very good OpenPilot platform. So those of you with F-150s have a lot of reason to be excited.
You might consider trading a Hyundai for a Toyota now.
Hyundai
Nice.
for a Toyota. Software update? Yeah. All this stuff comes with software updates. There's no hardware update.
What is TSK?
What does this achieve? So essentially, there's some authentication in the CAN messages, and for a long time, OpenPilot wasn't able to be ported to these cars because you need some vehicle-specific key to authenticate your message. For those of you who don't know, the way OpenPilot works is you have some lane keep camera, and what we essentially do is we, just like your iPhone takes over your infotainment system to provide you CarPlay and a better infotainment experience, OpenPilot does something very similar for your ADAS system in your car. But OpenPilot effectively wasn't able to talk to these cars and be a trusted citizen on the CAN bus. Is Jason a common employee these days? No. Okay, so Jason is one of our most prolific contributors, especially in the car stack. He's most well known as the maintainer of the VW port, and he came out for a couple of weeks to do some on-site work. And one of the things he really wanted to do was get Toyota Security shipped. So big thanks to Jason. He pushed us forward, really.
It was a unique opportunity to get this one across the line. Willem got it almost all the way there, needed a little spit and polish, and I asked the OpenPilot team if we could use this opportunity, and they were on board. So
Great.
I'm glad to get it in.
Explain what this is for my grandma. All right, so it's not quite ready for your grandma, but you can drive around with OpenPilot in your RAV4 Prime if you're really motivated to do it now. Experimental update. Yeah, we'll give that.
We'll talk about that later.
Soon. But this is really an OpenDBC focused stream. So I think that's basically all there is about TSK. We got 154 votes.
I just came for the cake.
You want to get who wants to
He's
cut the
got to
cake?
get back to fixing hugging.
Jason should have the honest cut the cake.
Yeah, we got knives for you.
You're wearing the wrong shirt today too.
No more
Find out
hugging.
the hugging
No more
shirt.
hugging
The
shirt.
hugging shirt. All right.
All right.
We got the tools.
Do some kind of like April Fool's hugging face thing.
We still have hugging in April.
This seems like incredibly tall.
It's a big
With
cake.
plates.
Hi, Julie.
Is this like?
Is OpenPilot better than HCA2 in my EV9?
Is this
Oh,
food or just
don't
a
do it yet, don't
label?
do it.
Okay.
Yeah. No,
Oh
go.
no, I don't want to cut it.
All right, go for it, Jason.
I feel
Go for
like
it.
you should take that off.
Yeah,
I
that
don't know if
doesn't
it
cut.
cuts.
Okay. I was wondering if that was plastic or if that was edible.
Plastic.
Okay. Let's not try to eat
You
that
can take
now.
this home.
Wait, is it plastic?
All right.
What about chill update? We have an update on chill mode too.
Yay.
Pretty exciting. But yeah,
Let's get some
OpenPilot chill.
facts.
All right.
Nice.
This thing is
Congrats.
huge.
Congrats.
Come on.
Alright, the cutting cake. The cutting is the most important part.
Yeah.
We can.
Yeah, we're gonna have to come back to
continue.
that. I'm not
The
good
cutting
at cake. It turns
cutting
out.
was successful, as you guys can see. We have a successful cut.
Will the cake be shipped soon? All right, so we can't ship you guys a cake. We're better shipping software.
It'll
But
be
the
in
cake
shop.
was not a lie.
It'll be in the shop.
No, the cake will. We'll put commemorative slices of cake in the shop if you really want. Sorry, there's some good questions. What file system do you? Okay. Yeah. I mean, if you're here, I'd hope you know OpenPilot is better in your EV9 than HDA2. Kia Carnival. I don't know if we support that yet. Chill update coming soon. Will the controls be limiting factor again? I mean, depends on the car. Push MLSIM V2. It is pushed. It's just not to master. All right. So let's talk a little bit about OpenDBC now.
Okay.
So I'll recap what I said earlier about OpenDBC. At a very high level, OpenDBC is a Python API for your car. You can pip install OpenDBC, and then if you have a comma 3x or our particular hardware setup with a Panda and a car harness, you can read stuff from your car, like your steering angle, your wheel speeds, all sorts of information. Way more information than we even use in OpenPilot, but the best quality stuff is going to be the stuff that OpenPilot needs to drive. And then you can even control your car. You can drive around with a joystick. You can control it just like an RC car. And the goal of this project is to support every car we possibly can and provide a really cool Python interface to your car. So right now we mostly support cars that are very good OpenPilot experiences, but we really want to support every car under the sun and make it such that supporting those cars doesn't make it harder to maintain the cars that we care about as a company, which are the ones that make a good OpenPilot experience. So one of the things that Jason worked on over the last 2 weeks is a way to document this. So cars.md, our car documentation has to expand a bit. And so this is a very early version of a new car docs where you can see the support level for any car. So really, this should have every car built in the last 20 years. If we know
many
anything
cars.
about it.
Whoa.
We could say things like it's supported in a fork, it's not supported because of FlexRay. All all of this stuff about the car. Do you want to show them the different support levels?
Yeah, so this is a little bit in flux. It's not necessarily final, but one of the things that we want to do to help pick up velocity in OpenDBC to help merge carports faster is do a better job communicating where carports are at in the process. Either they're finished and an upstream and drivable on release, or whether they're a work in progress, or whether they're in dash cam mode because of like a steering lockout or something, or whether they're fundamentally incompatible. We also want to be able to note cars that there might be situations where they're supported in forks and that might be a long-term thing, but we want to be able to point people toward the direction of community forks if that's where they're available. So the intent for this new separate document is for everyone who has questions about, is my car supported? Because I don't see it in the list. We want to be able to add it to the list so that your question is answered there, whether we can't support it or maybe it really is supported but it's over in this fork.
All right, production team is here. If you have a comma 3X, any comma device really, these guys probably all had a hand in building it. Or a Tiny Box now. Elliot is on the Tiny team. And a recent OpenPilot user. And a recent OpenPilot user. You just got it installed in your key.
Yeah, I had to take it off because someone broke in my car, but other than that, I love it. Sentry mode.
Alright, cool. But yeah, the goal with these docs is there will be two places you go to find out about car support. You go to comma.ai/vehicles, our website, and those will be cars that you just hit in the drop down in our website, you buy, whatever it says to buy, and then you're going to have a fully supported experience. And then if you want to know anything else about cars, this is the place to go. You'll be able to find out stuff like Toyota security. If somebody comes in Discord asking, is my 1997 Camaro supported or something, you'll point them to this document, and then hopefully it's enumerated here. If not, somebody will be able to investigate it and then make a PR and document why it's not supported. So that's really the vision with that one. We should have a pretty cool version of it soon. This is just a very simple markdown file, but I think ultimately this becomes like a nice looking, like a little web experience where you can filter by like, is this an EV? Does it have stop and go? All sorts of stuff. And we can publish all sorts of stats about these cars too. We have the microphone log for all these things. We can know about road noise, all sorts of cool information that is not strictly related to OpenPilot, but we're going to release a data set for this stuff. We'll expand comma car segments, and people will be able to make really cool experiences around this. Like, we have the best data set for how cars actually perform in the field. Let's see what people think of this. I'll pick that up. My 2015 Ford Fiesta will soon be on comma. Any other comments? Anything interesting?
Love my 3X. Won't buy another car if it won't work with comma.
I know that feeling.
Yeah.
Road noise and car stats. Yes, we have a lot of data. We have really good data.
Yeah. I mean, just with the comma car segments, what's up?
Yeah, so he took too much cake.
Half the cake is gone already.
Hell took.
Hey, leave a piece for me.
But yeah, we have, just from what we have in the comma car segments now, this is by far the biggest data set of the actual CAN traffic that's happening on cars that are on the road right now. And there's so much cool stuff you can report about these cars. We did an AEB one back in the day, and we compared the AEB systems and a whole bunch of cars. And our data set is so much bigger now. We understand these things so much better. But even if you're completely unaffiliated with us, go download our data set, and you can probably write a really cool blog post about anything about these cars. If somebody wants to be an intern on the car team and just study these cars and make a really cool version of this, we're down to have you. There's so much cool stuff that we know about these cars, and having all this data is one of the ways we haven't shipped a car regression to release in years. And we kind of want to productionize that and put that in the loop such that the community can ship lots of things to OpenDBC. Like Jason is our first open source maintainer he has write access to this repo, and he's not an employee. We want this to be a real open source project. So I think this has potentially a lot of users outside of OpenPilot who are driving the quality up for OpenPilot users too.
Someone's asking about potential remote unlock, start, remote HVAC.
So again, this isn't stuff we will spend time on, but we've merged like the infrastructure to get this in, and I think that's stuff that should be supported in here, and then it can go and connect. So it's not something we're going to spend time on. We are 100% focused on improving your driving experience. But that is stuff that can go in here. We want to know everything we can possibly know about these cars. You want to pull up the longitudinal reports?
Sure.
So we started benchmarking all the longitudinal APIs in these cars.
So here's the tool, and then I've got reports pulled up separately, so it'll be a little easier to see on the stream.
So we have like gas and brake step responses. Yeah, so this is a maneuver where we set the acceleration to 1.5 meters per second squared, and then we just see how the car responds. And we have OpenPilot's excellent localizer. We have all this data about it. And we will publish these for every single car we support.
This has been something that's been really hard to test and tune in the past when you're trying to get a good longitudinal experience out of any given car. There's been no alternative to just taking it out and seeing how it does, and that's dependent on your traffic situation, what's going on, can you find a place to stop, et cetera, et cetera. Whereas this you can take into a parking lot and repeat the exact same thing over and over and make minute changes and get the car's actual performance closer to OpenPilot's plan. There's a lot of people that are, like, you play with different models and different settings, and it's really hard to know exactly what variables you're changing. This lets you dial in exactly what you need from the OpenPilot plan so that it always works.
Someone's asking about release notes. I'm assuming release notes for the OpenDBC.
Yeah, as it becomes more of its own project, we'll figure all this stuff out, and we'll likely publish releases. If you guys know Shane, this is really his project. This encapsulates all the stuff he works on here. And then we're experimenting with moving the PANA safety in here too. And that's about 30,000 lines for car interfacing code. And that includes functional safety, that includes all our testing infrastructure. It even includes the fingerprints. If we remove the fingerprints, it's probably like 25K. And the fingerprints will be removed soon. We have this cool refactor called support groups coming out. That'll make it like way easier to port cars. It's already super easy now. But the real dream for OpenDBC is all that car support stuff that's in Forks. There's no reason it shouldn't make its way in here. And there's tons and tons of stuff that is in Forks right now. And we just want it to be at OpenDBC, even if it doesn't make its way to OpenPilot. And if you want to have a car support fork, you don't need an OpenPilot fork anymore. You just need an OpenDBC fork.
Someone's asking, what is the next big project for OpenDBC?
So we have a roadmap in the README. We're still working on the docs and everything. But
Where's that
the road,
at?
it's right at the bottom. Right now, it's in this README.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. So what we're working on internally right now is figuring out the exact API for car control between OpenPilot and OpenDBC, such that we have two engineering teams here, the autonomy team and the product team. And one of the things the product team does is like low-level car controls in the OpenDBC project. So we have to figure out exactly where that line is. It's a bit fuzzy right now. So we're working on clarifying that, and then really setting up a good evaluation loop for that half of it to test the interfaces, such that the driving policy is fully abstracted out from that. So that's the main thing that we are working on. But these are just general goals for the project, even if we're not working on them at the moment. But and we have another engineer here working on mutation tests for the safety. The safety should have like the most incredible testings pretty soon. It already does, but it should be even better. Cool. But yeah, that's OpenDBC. If you want to contribute, there's lots of places to contribute. If you have a car support fork, consider upstreaming your stuff here. Like Jason, for example, is working on a Chinese car a couple of years back. It's now lost in a PR that got closed. We want to merge all this stuff as soon as there is some valuable stuff in it. There's no reason we shouldn't have that like Hongqi, like there is some Chinese brand. We should have that partial carport in here. It should read a car state, even if it's not perfect. And then somebody can go back and pick it up, and then the new docs will communicate what state that is in exactly. Yeah.
Cool.
So that's OpenDBC. We have a super active community on Discord. So if you're at all interested in car hacking, any of that stuff, join us on Discord. We're making lots of progress on OpenDBC.
Some people are saying car manufacturers should also contribute and be open.
Yeah.
Yes, they're welcome to.
That's kind of the idea, right? They can push their DBCs, they can work on the car interfaces, they can push tunings, fingerprints. There's no reason they shouldn't, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot like, a lot of manufacturers handle the Linux drivers for their hardware. We see OpenDBC looking very similar to that.
An operating system for your car. Nice.
Cool. Yeah, that's OpenDBC. and then do you want to flip around? Talk about 0-10 a bit?
Yeah.
We can sit down. All right, so we'll do a brief stint about the next release. If you guys saw my Discord post a couple days ago, we have everything we intend to get in for the next release, which will probably be 0.10 though. Still gonna be 0.98 in master for a while. As a reminder, all releases are canceled up until we have noticeable driving improvements. You can call us liars on Twitter if it's not. You should be able to feel the difference. That hasn't necessarily been the case over the last few releases, but that's a blocker on shipping releases now. And we have 4 main things that are going in that release. So we have the new ML Sim models, completely new. This is mainly what you've seen we'll talk about. Then we have the first taste of end-to-end long and chill mode. We have the brand new Toyota tune, and we have some DM fixes related to your passenger being distracted, and then it classifies you as distracted. But yeah, let's talk about the ML Sim models.
So, you guys have been following along with the secret good OpenPilot branches. Well, it's not that secret anymore because you guys have been.
It was never really
secret.
secret.
It was never really secret.
It was never really. We don't have any secret big models that are really great.
But yes, so we finally got into a state where it's comparable to what's on master, and it's just easier for us to just merge it right now and merge all our internal training branches, which makes development and progress very easy for us. Working on branches and keeping the rebases is kind of a pain. So it is in a state where it's very comparable to what's on master. So we clicked merge, and which is very exciting. It's been a project for a long time. So to say a few words about what ML Sim driving or what Secret Good OpenPilot is, it's essentially training the driving policies in this very new style of simulation that's based on machine learning. So everything is trained end to end. There's no hard-coded logic for simulation. So the driving
as opposed to what? You want to explain tiny sim a bit?
As opposed to taking an image and warping it a little bit with some priors on depth and some priors on geometry, and doing some very, very basic warping of the image, which introduces a lot of artifacts. So that's how our previous simulator works. Some other simulators might be, GTA 5 or Carta or other things, but we don't want to use that because the world and the scenarios there are very limited. So we need something that's data-based. So what leaves us in either machine learning-based simulation or some kind of a reprojection-based simulator. So this new style of simulator is very exciting. It works very well. We can basically learn like a video game where you can play, tell it which curvature, which steering angle you want, which acceleration you want, and it will react to that and give you frames that look like real driving video. So these new models that are in OpenPilot right now are trained fully end-to-end in closed loop in these world models that we call them world models sometimes, and that's exciting because we can essentially remove all the bottlenecks and all the crippling of the models that we had to put in order to avoid the models using the artifacts of the previous simulator. So as we are aware that there's some rough edges, some hugging problems, and some lane changes problems. And
that's a huge victory just to get to this point.
We're looking to fix. We're currently fixing those, and as soon as we reach really comparable performance, we're going to start to scale both the simulator models and the driving policies, which will hopefully come without any bottlenecks. So to people who don't really care about the machine learning nitty-gritty, that just means OpenPilot is going to get better and smarter and more interesting. This is really exciting because there's been proof of concepts of things like that being done in games, in Atari games, in Doom, etc. But there's no one has ever done that in a real-world ADAS system, and we know a lot of people are trying currently, and I'm sure some people are very close too. But besides games and Doom and the other video games, no one has been able to deploy a policy that's trained fully in simulation. So that's really exciting work. That's the autonomy and the openpilot team has been working on for a long time, and the infrastructure team too.
We just got a couple new racks stood up.
Yeah,
got a couple more standing up soon.
Big team effort. The models are training
Yeah.
every day, 24/7. GPUs are warm, so that's pretty much the update. We're working on fixing the issues. We appreciate all the feedback.
But I think the coolest thing is feedback is more actionable than ever. We've had this in the pipeline for a really long time, and we constantly have to make the trade-off. Do we try to fix this in the existing stack? Do we try to make experimental mode good in the existing stack? Knowing that it'll never really scale to anything that's really beyond what you experience now. So now we don't really have to make these trade-offs. We finally ship the thing that we intended to ship for years. So you guys post segments, and we will be able to debug why they happened, and there's going to be like no consideration of like, oh, do we really wait for this new thing that's coming very soon?
Yeah.
We're going to look at your segment and figure out exactly why that happened.
Yeah, this is an architecture that we intend to stick with for a long time, especially because it's really clean. It's two models. One model that simulates a world, and one model that learns how to drive in that world. So that really was the plan all along, and we don't really see anything better than this. And the improvements are gonna come very, very soon. Hopefully, as soon as we start scaling these models. These models are still tiny. So just to be clear, these secret good openpilot branches and what we recently shipped, we didn't increase any model size or anything. The simulator is very tiny still. Hopefully, we'll scale these soon. Scale these up, make the models bigger, make the GPUs go better.
Yeah, so for this upcoming release, the things that you should really notice that are different, you're going to have the best time if, right now you have a Lexus ES TSS2, but it should be all TSS2 cars pretty soon. You're going to notice the biggest improvement on that car and with the new model. But very specifically, if you're disengaging in stop and go, we want to fix it and we will block the release on that. If you have any, if you're having a bad DM experience, we want to know about it. We ship some pretty big improvements to master. And if in the new models you see significant regressions, we will fix those. Are all blockers for the release, and we want those things to be perfect. This will be unambiguously the best OpenPilot release we've ever done.
Very, very excited about this release.
Yes, and then once this is out, you want to talk about what the focus is? The number one priority for this company after that will be shipping end-to-end long and chill mode.
Yes.
What you guys have been asking for a long, long, long time. And that'll be the biggest improvement. So we have the first taste of it coming in 0.10, and essentially what that'll do is the model can decide whether it wants to allow applying the gas or not. And what that does is, like, say you're approaching a really obvious case, like a stop sign. It'll say like, okay, we don't apply the gas when we're coming up to a stop sign. It won't apply the brake, but it won't apply the gas. It won't floor it.
Yeah.
You'll also notice this in cases of like very dense traffic, where maybe OpenPilot doesn't have a lead yet, but it's like nobody would they wouldn't floor it in that scenario too. So there's some subtle cases where it'll be better, and then in the obvious cases, it won't floor it.
In turns on the highway too, that's also very useful. Limit acceleration. In turns on city streets as well, red lights and stop signs. So it's a very first taste of end-to-end long. End-to-end long in chill mode. Also potentially AEB, that'll be next.
Yeah.
And then we'll come back to things like nav and exciting features that a lot of people have been asking about in the chat. I saw that.
So yeah, I think the biggest thing the community has had a very valid complaint about for a long time is like they post segments and they haven't necessarily been actionable, which is a very fair complaint. But we constantly have to make this trade-off of like, do we try to fix it now or do we wait for the new architecture? This is a totally new paradigm, and there is nothing else in the pipeline. We're going to ship this, then we're going to be 100% focused on shipping end-to-end long to you in chill mode and deleting experimental mode. It'll just be one single reliable experience that we ship to you. And then on the car side, we're going to do what we did for our Lexus, but for all the cars essentially. We're just going to go down the list on the next candidate car. EV6 is a candidate for next. Maybe our Ford Bronco. That has the potential to be a really good platform.
Love the Bronco.
Yeah. So we've got really good loops for this now. I'm really excited for 0.10. It ships when it ships, but hopefully soon. We're scaling everything up to make it happen. We're standing up new racks in the data center. The models that we merged now, we built those racks. We built those a few days ago, a week ago.
Yeah.
So-
As soon as Greg plugged the racks, there was models training on them. I think a few minutes passed between the servers turning on and them being 100%.
We wouldn't have merged SGO unless that happened, right? That day.
No, we wouldn't know.
Yeah, I think we merged it like maybe 24 hours after the rack stood up.
Yeah. It was. Yeah. We increased the data center. We should probably go on the next stream.
Yeah, we've got a lot of exciting stuff around here to show you guys.
Data center.
Even some very exciting stuff in production.
Yep.
Ultimate provisioning, a lot of cool stuff. We're scaling up. We're setting up the second circuit board line. A lot of exciting stuff happening.
Yeah.
Cool. I don't know. Is there any final
Any
good questions, Jason?
questions?
Do you see anything cool?
Let's see. Should we see improvements on all cars?
So you will notice, yeah, yes, but you'll notice the most improvement right now in Master on the Lexus ES TSS2, and then all the TSS2 cars before it goes to release. So that'll have the biggest difference, especially longitudinally. And then the other cars, the goal is to get the new style models up to the same standard as release, but just from the inherent like beauty of the new training stack, you should start to see some nice behaviors. Like I've noticed in the UI looks a lot more stable, looks more self-consistent.
Yeah.
It feels a little more confident.
It's more confident in turns.
Yeah, it just feels like it knows what it gets it a little bit more.
Yeah.
There's a comment, love having the new models in Master, makes sense to be on bleeding edge. Another comment, would love to work with comma. What do they do if they
Great. Okay, perfect question.
get a job here?
Okay, cool. I almost forgot about the hiring shell. Okay, so we have, if you want to get a job, comma.ai/jobs. Super simple process. Essentially, it starts with either a challenge. We've got lots of fun challenges, a controls challenge, a compression challenge, a hardware challenge, design challenge, lots of challenges. You can find the challenges on comma.ai/leaderboard. Even if you're not interested in a job, it's cool to be on the leaderboard. Right now, the active challenge is the hardware challenge. No one's claimed the $20 yet. So if you're good at hardware and you just want a nice, cool little crown next to your name on the leaderboard, that crown stays there forever. It's more valuable than the $500 you win. Go ahead and check out our challenges. We're hiring for lots of things. We're hiring a controls engineer. We're hiring lots of people for the product team, for web full stack stuff, for system stuff. Do you want to write us a new updater? Do you like kernel hacking, reverse engineering stuff? Always hiring for that. Hiring hardware engineers to work on products like the 3X, work on manufacturing. Lots of cool stuff to do in production. We have,
Machine learning.
the whole company is in this 20,000 square foot office. Upstairs is the engineering teams, downstairs is the production. Every device gets built here, it gets designed here, gets fulfilled from here. It's a really cool operation. We probably have some of the best testing for consumer electronics around. Then there's even so much more to do. We're shipping ultimate provisioning. I'll show you guys that soon.
Even the racks that we use to train the models are made right
Yep,
here.
they're made right over there.
Right over there.
Yeah, a
Which is
lot
pretty
of
cool.
cool stuff. You want to come here and own manufacturing. You know all the parts in a cell phone. You know how to make things reliable. You want to work on supply chain. We're hiring for all that stuff. You want to design things like the Comma 3X or the Comma body. As it gets, we'll need. We'll be spending more and more time on robotics on the hardware side soon.
We work on word models, on controls and things like that.
So you just want an internship,
Always hiring.
do the challenges. But yeah, all we test, there's no leak code on a whiteboard or I don't know. This is the only job I've ever had, but I don't know. I've heard these things. Super simple. We just want to know, can you do the work and do it independently? So either contribute to our open source repos or do well on a challenge. And then there's like a quick phone call with either me or Harold and Yassine, and then one quick one with Alex, and then that's about it. We'll bring you out here.
Another question about how the simulator works for training, how their real world driving data kind of feeds into that process. How does that feed the simulator that trains the models?
Yeah, so we use 100% real world data to train the simulator. So the simulator is trained on real world video and real world ground truth from our localizer and things like that. So that gives us a nice simulator. And then it's a little.
You don't talk about the output space of that simulator. Like you can drive around in it.
So the input space of that simulator is essentially 6 degrees of freedom pose input, which is the X and Y and Z translation, and X and Y and Z rotations, essentially. So that's the input space. The output space for now is video, an image, the next image that will result from that translation and rotation, and that is the secret sauce. Is basically what the human path would have been given the context and given that translation and rotation. So that is the secret sauce that comes from the simulator. So this is input-output, and that's it. We don't output any lane lines, any lead, any car, any radar, nothing else. And then we use the simulator to essentially put a driving policy in this world, and then the driving policy decides how to drive, and uses those images as inputs, and uses the human path that comes from the simulator. In this case, it doesn't come from a data set anymore. As soon as we train the simulator, we essentially forget about the real world data set. We still use it for some things, for initializing the simulator. We use some context frames and things like that. But we essentially forget about the real world and then just use the simulator to train a driving policy. And I know this is a little abstract and it's not very clear to say to explain it like this in a few seconds. But we are as soon as we finish this and we match the performance of master, of release, and put this in a good state, we will write a really nice blog post that will have beautiful visualizations and beautiful schematics, and it will be a lot clearer. But yeah, that is essentially the gist of it.
Is there a blog update coming?
Yeah.
Why does everybody ask this? We do that when we do a release, all right? When we do a release, we'll do it. We got to ship you good things first. Shipping to master does not count. We have to ship it to release. We're very serious about shipping here,
Yeah, we can.
You wouldn't count your device built if it was just saying fulfillment down here. We didn't actually ship it to you.
It's like the demos. We built demos for these world models that have been around since 2016, and nobody's shipped anything like that. So, if a blog post was enough for shipping, that would have been very easy.
Yeah, blog post once it goes to release, but yeah, for sure we'll do a blog post.
There's some questions about specific car models, but I think we talked about that during OpenDBC. We'll
join the Discord. If Jason's new docs don't answer your question, then you can go and complain in Discord, and we'll fix it.
Alright, I'm going to head out.
All right, cool. Scene's got to go train some new models for you guys.
Train some new models. See you guys. Thank you for the feedback and everything on Discord. Really appreciate it. And yeah, gotta go train some new models.
But yeah, you guys are really part of making this the best release ever. We will take all your feedback. If something looks like a regression that does not happen on release, we will block the release on it. So your guys' feedback is super, super important for making this the best release we will ever ship up until now. Cool. Any more good questions, or are we go to end it?
It's about. I think that's most of the things about the topic.
All right, cool. All right, so one last shout out for jobs and hiring and Leaderboard. We've got lots of stuff to do. If anything here, that's my key. Yeah. If anything in here looks pretty interesting to you, you have fun doing our challenges, you'll probably have a good time here. It's a great time to join. Lots and lots of interesting stuff going on the product side, autonomy side, even the operations side. Operations is hiring. So if that's your thing, I think Alex is working on a challenge, but just email in, work at comma.ai. Cool. I think that'll be it then. Thanks for joining, guys.